These people like to come up in here while I'm asleep and post some nasty, nasty, nasty stuff. But I found another nasty, nasty, nasty thing. And hopefully this audio is going to be a little bit better than the other ones because I found a different way to do it. So I'm hoping this will be the new version of things. Okay, so I had been looking for a specific club down on the strip. And for some reason I can't find it. And nobody's helping me out either, which it is. There was a club called... I don't know if it was just the nickname of what they were calling it, but they said the sushi bar. Like, that was a place where everybody knows, go to the sushi bar. So it may have been called the sushi bar. Like, I don't even know. And it wasn't like a regular club where, like a restaurant, like where you eat, because why would it have an age limit? That's kind of weird. So I think it's some combo of something, and I just can't find it because I must not know the specific name of it. But it was a place where I was under 18 and I couldn't get in, and it might have been even 21 and over. I'm not sure. Does anybody know what that is? So it was on the strip on Sunset, and it was on the south side. Like, if you're going west on Sunset, it was on like the south side to your left side. That's all I remember. Okay. But while I was looking for that, I actually just randomly, I find the best stuff like when I'm not looking for it and I'm looking for something else. So I specifically found this, and it's totally relevant to the Janet Jackson clip that I did. And so these are conducts that she even is okay with her pals here. So I just thought, oh, see, yeah, this is going to be what it is. Okay, now I've never done this. I'm sure I've done some really crazy stuff, like the frat housing stuff, like when I was a teen, like a minor, but this isn't stuff I as an adult would run around going to do just randomly to people. But and I've been doing a lot of these stories on the men doing stuff, so we have a female here that was being a Andy Dick. Let me read this. So this is from a male, and he did some rundown of this thing at the Coconut Teaser. Now, I want to bring up something about the Coconut Teaser. The drug ring of Russian Pauls and Ola Ray, that's related to the Michael Jackson thing where they used his name to lure kids up in there. Actually, this was one of the places where they were doing some dealy wheelies. So I just happened to remember this, and I was like, oh, why does this not shock me? Because all this stuff is like connected. And these trashy celebs actually all these people were doing drugs up in here. And this guy's like trying to be like, a few days later, like, I don't know, all this stuff was going on because there's all this bad stuff that was going on down there. And he's like, a few days later, I saw a local news report on LA after hours clubs, raves, and the drugs. And I knew they were trying to get us involved in their negative hype. Dude. There was a major drug thing going on here. I just know one of the networks, and one of the networks happens to be one of Michael's little pals over there and their family friends, okay? So I know this is a fact. So, yeah. So who came up in here? I was like, who came up in here? This is actually 94. So the situation that happened was in 92. Okay. So this after hours, whatever bullshit that they were going to was actually 94. He's saying it was from 92 until 2003. And I wasn't allowed in. I was kind of pissed off because I was like, they won't let me in here. You know, and so these people were willing and dealing with people in line and going inside and all sorts of things, okay? Not that I really specifically, I don't know at that moment, knew things, but, yeah, that actually happened. So I know one of the locations in it was the Coconut Teaser. Okay, so moving on. So a lot of celebrities were going there, including Carson Daly. So what did they say here in this thing? And Grace Jones would have two men attached to her with chains and would walk in screaming and yelling wild-eyed, and that she would get on the floor and dance with everybody else. Now, mind you, she can do whatever the hell she wants if these guys are consenting with her, right, and everything, and they're having fun. That's not the issue. The issue comes down to this one portion and the way that he brushes it off as well. So why is he no different than any woman who would be like, I was just so happy because it was a celebrity? He goes like this. I was fortunate enough to play there a few times thanks to my affiliation with DJ and LA legend Terrence Toy. One night around 3:30 a.m. Oh, you guys be going on about being out after 4? Oh, these people. I was up. I was like, towards the end of my opening set, a hushed whisper echoed throughout the room. It's Janet. Janet's here. I noticed a woman disguised in a hooded top, dancing with a few friends on the stairs by the booth in the darkness of the club. I couldn't tell if she was indeed Janet Jackson. Minutes later, a short African-American woman stood next to me behind the decks, and she reached around and lightly patted my crotch while giving me a big smile and approving thumbs up, baby. I looked at her in disbelief and thought to myself, that's fucking Missy Elliot. Missy Elliot, a.k.a. Andy Dick, a.k.a. Kevin Spacey. So it says, it wasn't sexual. Oh God, this comment, I was like, thank you for bringing me back to the times, because this is the time in the era where men totally sexually assaulted women and go, hey, it's totally fine. It wasn't sexual on my part, even though my hand ran up your ass. This is, that's a sexual assault. Nobody should, it doesn't matter what the MO is in their head, if it was sexual or not. They literally touch your dick, honey. So that, it doesn't matter. So I was like, I'm so glad I found this story, because, we have all these ones on the men. So, Missy Elliott here. And Janet's friend, who she's totally fine with this conduct, obviously, because this is your pals. And would she want to get her friend Missy in trouble for this type of conduct? Hell no. So it says, in her own unique, nonverbal way, she told me she approved of the music and the vibe. I could think of a lot of other ways to approve of your music and your vibe than grabbing your dick. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, dude. You made the worst excuse here for her ever. Just pointing it out. She went to join her friends by the stairs. They danced for a while and later disappeared into the crisp, early West Hollywood morning. Later, we found out that the group was composed of Janet Jackson, Missy Elliott, even a whole bunch of other people, I'm sure. So then, celebrities most likely felt comfortable at DYMK, which is like, does your mother know, or whatever. It's like a name of this thing. Because it was so dark, and photography was discouraged. There was no filming allowed. Well, most of y'all didn't have filming back then. I was the one that had the camera, and then it got stolen by this little drug ring right here. Yeah, because they were expensive. So, and very few photos or video was taken, explains Largo. We wanted to respect the privacy of the customers. And the cameras back then were totally those huge, holding a like a VCR on your shoulder, basically. So I'm sure I'm going to be running into the club. I'm like, hey, I don't know, even in 94, because 92 was when they had those. So, so they stole them, obviously, because they were worth money and not a lot of people had them. It wasn't something where everybody had them. The rich kids might have had them, but, that wasn't, today we have cameras with phones and with videos and all sorts of things. But back here at this time, that wasn't the big common thing. But I did carry around little disposable cameras all the time. And for some reason, I didn't take a crop load of pictures, probably because I was being abused so much in this situation. It was like, who the hell would want to? I have a couple at weird times at other things, but no. But anyway, I thought I would tell you guys about that. So Missy Elliott, the groper of Hollywood out here, grabbing guys, to go, thumbs up, dude, pat, pat, pat. I cannot believe it. I would never do this to random people. Like I said, during the frat housing years, it would be something like, what was it? You would walk by a guy and your friends by him, and then you wanted to embarrass your friend, you kind of knock them into him or something, or push their hand up by them and touch them like that or something. But it would be people that you knew or kind of knew or something weird, and you shouldn't have done it anyway. But we're talking about somebody that just randomly takes their celebrity, goes out into a club, and just randomly touches you on your sexual parts. No. I'm like, that, no. That's Missy Elliott. That's Miss Nasty's friend. So they were all together doing this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. There's a reason why somebody would be totally fine with their brother doing that to little boys or something, and not even like being like, oh, you know what, this might be bad. No, you guys were all doing that stuff. So I don't want to hear it anymore. I really don't.